Hello. For my behavior change project, I am focusing on elopement. The article that I chose is called Different Reinforcement with and Without Blocking as a Treatment for Elopement by Call, Pabico, Finley, and Valentino. This article and study only has one subject, a 5-year-old boy who is diagnosed with autism and only uses a few different signs to request for preferred items such as water. The function of the behavior of elopement in this article is to gain access to water. There are two different rooms, water's in one, teaching and learning is in the other room, and Jimmy will go from one room and elope to the room with the water. There are 3 different treatment phases. There's DRO with blocking, a DRO without blocking, and then a DRO VR2, which I will talk about later. In the DRO with blocking, as well as the rest of the different treatment phases, Jimmy has access to water in the room with water for 2 minutes before any lessons or anything happen. After those 2 minutes, then he goes back to the room where the teaching and the lessons occur, and for every 30 seconds he remains in that room without eloping, he then gets 20 seconds of access with the water. Frequency is kept on this, as well as how long he's able to go between elopement, or trying to elope, I guess, is the better way to say it. For every 2 sessions, so for every 30 seconds to start, that he doesn't make it, or that he doesn't try to elope to the other room, then the amount of time he has to stay in the teacher room is increased by 30 seconds. So start off with 30 seconds, he doesn't try, he gets 20 seconds of access. Go back, another 30 seconds, good to go, access to water, come back again, okay, now we're going to increase it to a minute. And this just continued on from there, and that happened in all of the phases. However, in the DRO with blocking, it's just that you're going to block him from going and getting access to the other room. Then in DRO without blocking, everything is the same as the previous treatment phase. However, when he tries to go to the other room, we're going to let him. Every time he goes to the other room, then he'll gain access to those items again for the 20 seconds, bring back to the room, continue on with his lesson, and gets reinforced for not eloping as well. Then we go to the DRO VR2. This phase was created in order to decrease, or in order to determine what's going to happen if you don't block every time. Because the likelihood of someone being able to block someone from eloping 100% of the time is not possible. Unless they're stuck in a room their entire lives, you're not going to be able to block them from leaving. So in this phase, every other time Jimmy tried to elope to go get water, he was blocked. And then he would get access to it every other time. So that phase is basically just the everyday phase, you could almost look at it as. So in an everyday instance, I'm not going to be able to stop you from leaving. So I have this phase to cover that and to kind of eliminate one of those potential limitations of this study. Inter-observer agreement for this study, there was an outside independent individual there 42% of the time to record data and to take outside data. Their inter-observer agreement was not posted within the article, but they did mention that they had someone there 42% of the time. The results of this article show that the DRO with the blocking decreased elopement the most. Then the DRO without blocking with the VR2, or the DRO with blocking the VR2 was next. So that's the one where we block every other time. Then we have the DRO without blocking. They hypothesized that DRO without blocking is most likely, or is least likely to decrease elopement and most likely to sustain elopement because they're still getting access to their reinforcing item every time they want to. You're not stopping them from getting what they want, so why would they stay in the room? They're just going to keep going. A limitation of this study is there is only one subject. Another limitation is that the amount of time spent in the teaching room away from the reinforcing item only increased to 120 seconds. So it never increased very long. That's not a very long period of time for, for a kid to be in one room. 2 minutes, that's pretty good, but that's not the greatest amount of time. That's not sitting through an entire lesson without trying to leave and go to the other room. So that's just one limitation, and something, increasing the time might help a little bit, as well as increasing the amount of subjects. Thank you.